Today we have a lesson on product of powers properties. Okay, so there's three different properties that have to do with multiplying powers. And I'm not going to read all this to you, but you can see the three different ones. We have the product of powers property, we have power of a power property, and we have power of a product property. Now, on the product of powers property, they're telling us that to multiply powers with the same base, we add their exponents. And with the power to a power property, we're going to multiply the exponents. And to find a power of a product, we find the power of each factor. Now, if you've been in class, you remember the little songs we've been singing. When you multiply like bases, you add the exponents. Or with the power to a power, you multiply exponents. Or with the power of a product, you distribute the exponents. And if you go on YouTube, you can actually find that song if you want to listen to it. So make sure one thing that you need to remember is that when a number is written without an exponent, the exponent is always 1. Because when you're adding exponents, then if you don't add that 1 in there, then it's going to mess you up. All right, so when we're multiplying powers with the same base, when you multiply like bases, you add the exponents. So what you do is you keep your like base of 2, and when you add 4 plus 5, that gives you 2 to the 9th power. And that's all there is to it. So on B, we're multiplying like bases. We have a like base of -5. Now this is what that study tip was talking about. There's actually a 1 right there. So we have to add 1 plus 6, which gives us -5 to the 7th power. And we're going to put that in parentheses because their parentheses are right here. And if you remember, there's a big difference in between having parentheses and not having them. Now we'll do the same thing if we have a variable on C. We're multiplying x to the 3rd power times x to the 7th power. We keep our base of x and we add our exponents, and 3 plus 7 is 10. The next property we're going to talk about is the power of a power, and with the power to a power, you multiply exponents. So what you're going to do is there's only one base here, so you just keep that base, and we're going to do 4 times 3, which gives us 3 to the 12th power. We do the same exact thing if we have a variable. We have w to the 5th power raised to the 4th power. So what we're going to do is keep that base of w and multiply our exponents. 5 times 4, which is 20. And our last set of examples go with the power of a product, where we're going to distribute the exponent, which is the last property on that key ideas page. And what I mean by distribute the exponent is this 3 is going with the 2 and to the x. So we have 2 to the 3rd power times x to the 3rd power. So that, because of those parentheses there, that exponent goes with everything, not just the x. And with these, we generally work them the rest of the way out, simplify them all the way out, and 2 to the 3rd power is 8, and we can't do anything with x to the 3rd power, so we just leave it x to the 3rd power. Now, no matter how many things are inside the parentheses, this exponent goes with everything. So this becomes 3 squared times x squared times y squared. And we can go ahead and simplify everything that we can. 3 squared becomes 9, and we just leave x squared and y squared how they are. So it is time for you to pause your video, try these, see what you can do, and when you get done, check them to see what you got right. All right, on number 1, when you multiply the bases, you add the exponent, so you should have gotten 6 to the 6th power. On number 2, you're multiplying like bases, you add the exponents. So if you'll see, we kept that -1/2 in parentheses, and 3 plus 6 is 9. Number 3 is also when you multiply like bases, you add the exponents. And if you're wondering where 13 came from, don't forget there's that little understood 1 right there. 4, 5, and 6 are all a power to a power, and with the power to a power, you multiply exponents. So you should have multiplied 3 times 4 and got 12. On number 5, you should have multiplied 4 times 2, and you got y to the 8th power. And on 6, you should have left your -4 in parentheses and multiplied 3 times 2 and got 6. Now on 7, 8, and 9, this is the power of a product. The reason why we know it's a power of a product is because we have a product right here, which is multiplication raised to that power. And when you do that, you distribute your exponent. So you should have gotten 5 to the 4th power times y to the 4th power, which is 625 times y to the 4th power. On number 8, you get a to the 5th power times b to the 5th power. And on 9, you should have distributed that exponent out and got 1/2 squared, m squared, n squared. And 0.5 squared is actually 0.25, so you can see where we worked that out. And we just brought down our m squared and our n squared. So that is the product of the powers properties. If you have any questions, come see me in class, rewatch the video, or you can find lots of different things on YouTube.